Called to order the 22nd meeting of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel. This is Monday, November the 14th, meeting in regular time. It's 7 p.m. I'll call Reverend Litchfield to come forward, please, sir, and give us the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mayor Mo. Thank you. Reverend Litchfield.
Almighty God, we gather this evening, God, to conduct the business of the city. Call our prayer for our mayor, the president, for the members of the city council, all in authority. Grant unto them a sense of justice. They perform their duties on behalf of all thy people. And this city, this county, this state, this nation, our people with thy merciful care and understanding. Remember those who lie upon a bed of affliction, comfort those who mourn the loss of loved ones. Name of the wonderful Lord of life, we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Ms. Nicholas?
Here.
Mr. Laz?
Here.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
Here.
President Ricks?
Here.
Mayor Mel?
Thank you. At this time, if you wish to be heard on any item here tonight, if you would please sign the sign-up sheet and understand that I can restrict the amount of time for each speaker up to 2 minutes. With that, I will go to item number 5 on our agenda this evening, the approval of the minutes of the 21st meeting on October the 24th. And I will combine those with the work session on Wednesday, November the 2nd. Is there any move to amend those either way? If not, I'll take a motion to adopt both.
Mr. President, I'll move to adopt both sets of minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Madam Clerk?
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Laz? Yes. Mr. Smalls?
I abstained. I wasn't here.
President Ricks?
Yes. At this time, we'll take the report of the mayor and city council. Ms. Crary?
Thank you, Mr. President. November 4th, it's a Friday night. It's a beautiful evening. I attended the Harvest Moon Hayride, and I'd like to congratulate Joanne Barr and staff. She was turning away people at 8:15. Hopefully they all show up again next year. Probably close to 400 people. And it was very nice down by the bonfire, too. It looked like a lot of parents from the 70s reliving certain ages. On November 5th, they attended the Give 5 Drive honoring veterans with the mayor down on Lafayette Avenue. And that was a well-attended event. Appreciated. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. And you can burn it off early by participating in the Lars 5 Trot, which I think starts at 8 a.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Les?
Thank you, Mr. President. October 31st, I attended a strategy meeting of the Laurel Regional Hospital Strategy Group. October 31st, we had a successful trick-or-treat night. Thank you to our men and women, Laurel Police Department, for keeping our streets safe for our children. As my colleague indicated, the Harvest Moon Hayride was a success. Our grandson reported that it was great fun, but a bit chilly. And again, thank you to the men and women of our Parks and Rec for this wonderful event. November 9th, I attended a meeting of the Patuxent River Commission in Annapolis. November 11th, we had the unveiling of the first City of Laurel Hometown Hero banner, and I'm sure the mayor will mention more about that. There are several upcoming events that will benefit deserving area charitable events. As was indicated, on Thanksgiving morning, hundreds of runners, walkers, and spectators will participate in the annual Lars turkey trot, and it benefits those less fortunate, and information can be found at laureladvocacy.org. Laurel Police Department currently has their No Shave November underway to benefit eradicating zero prostate cancer. That site is lpdcharity.com if you'd like to sponsor one of the participants. On November 26th, Tommy's annual reindeer run will take place to benefit Sarah's House. This run is in memory of Tommy Linsmeyer. Information can be found at tomsreindeerrun.org. And finally, I want to wish everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving holiday. And as a lot of people will be on the road, please drive safely. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Ms. Nicholas?
Thank you. I'd like to thank Joanne Barr and her staff for Parks and Rec for all of the great work they did for the grand reopening of the Armory. The state-of-the-art gym is fabulous, and I'm sure you'll see me and my council colleagues there getting into better shape. I'd also like to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving holiday. Thank you.
Mr. Smalls?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to begin my report by making the council and public aware that I have been appointed by Governor Hogan to a domestic violence task force. I'm representing the Maryland Municipal League and the municipalities that are part of the Municipal League. The subject matter that we're looking at is a pretty involved one, and that is finding a way, if possible, that deeds for property can somehow be put into place and mask the address of a victim of domestic violence or human trafficking. As many of us know, people who are victims of domestic violence and human trafficking, it's not relegated to just poor people. There are very educated and wealthy people who are also victims, and many of these victims seek to purchase properties while also hiding from their abusers. So this task force has the responsibility or the task of coming up with some recommendations to the governor on the possibility of being able to keep their addresses confidential when they purchase property.
If you wouldn't mind me saying, also where they hide assets so that their spouse cannot find them as well.
Yeah. I also had the opportunity to attend the Maryland Municipal League's summer conference planning committee. I think the name has changed by the board of directors, where it's no longer the summer conference. But I can tell you that we had the opportunity to hear some presentations by some very dynamic speakers who we have selected one who will be the keynote speaker at the conference, and colleagues, a number of what we think will be very interesting and informative workshops. As I mentioned at our last council meeting, or at least the last one I attended, the Environmental Affairs Committee met, and one of the highlights of that meeting was the launching of a web page on the city's website for the Environmental Affairs Committee. We're very excited about that page, and we ask members of the council, mayor, members of the public to go to that site regularly. There'll be all kinds of links to videos, how-tos, and examples of environmental stewardship. There are a number of topics that this committee we're planning to address in the future, so stay tuned. I'd like to just bring to everyone's attention one of what I think is one of the best kept secrets in Laurel, and that is the Firehouse Breakfast on the first Sunday of every month. For those of you who haven't attended, I'll tell you, it's one of the best breakfasts, I think, around. My grandsons and I have attended that breakfast for a number of years. We're at a point now where they know when the first Sunday hits. They don't have to remind me. They plan on attending that breakfast, and it's well worth it. And we all know that the proceeds go to a very worthy cause with our fire department. And lastly, I'll join my colleagues in wishing everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. For my report tonight, this is my last council meeting as president. It's been an honor to work for 2 years as president. I think that we have accomplished some things that I set out to that certainly will help the city in the long run, really do some things that we haven't done in the past. I don't have to serve as president to follow up with some of these things. I'm hoping that the new president will allow myself and Councilmember Crary to finish up with the transportation issues that with the railroad that we started a year and 3/4 ago. It's closer. I keep saying it's closer, and it is getting closer. And so I hope that we will be able to finish up that project. I do wish whoever's the next president a lot of success. There are a lot of issues that we have here in the city that need a lot of attention, but they're good things. They're not bad things, but they're good things where we can make it better for the residents of the city of Laurel. So with that, I would like to ask the council to join me down at the podium for a minute. You can join me, Mayor, if you wish.
Didn't we tell him he's got another meeting to do?
Because Greg said he has another meeting to do.
Anyhow, I think I can voice carries enough that I don't need the microphone. The city council meets here a number of times a month, and there is a particular person that we would like to thank for going, in my mind, above and beyond the call of duty. This particular person gives up his time and time again, even on days off, to come up here and somewhat show a sign of protection for us. So with that, as one of my last acts here, I'd like to ask Officer Mark Smith to come forward, please. Officer Smith, like I said, you have done, like in my mind, above and beyond, not only on the street. I see you out there all the time and how friendly you are with the constituents that we serve every day, and you carried the badge honorably. And I want to thank you for all that you do for us all the time. So take this with your wife and have a good time. Thank you very much. All right? All right. Thank you all very much. At this time, I'd like to open the general public hearing. It is 7:14. Is there anyone?
You want my report?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor. I get caught up.
I know you did. You got another meeting, next week, so. Thank you, Mr. President. The, excuse me, trick or treat on Main Street. I want to thank the Laurel Board of Trade, Jim. I know you're here, and outstanding job by the Board of Trade and the many volunteers and our public safety agencies, our police department. Again, I think we shut down sections of the street. I think everybody was happy, not issues. I know we'll be critiquing that if you haven't done that already, but thank you very much. for all those that came out. I think we made it a safer place this year. I did have the opportunity to attend the 5K breast cancer awareness fundraiser by the lovely ladies of Laurel over at Laurel Lake. I want to thank them for the work they do in the community as well. And as you heard, the grand reopening of the Anderson Murphy Community Center, the Park and Recs, Joanne, I want to thank you and your staff for all the work that you did to make that happen. And we're getting close. I know there's a few items, but building is beautiful. So thank you very much. Harvest Moon Hayride. Again, I kept hearing good things. I didn't get down there, but again, Park and Recs comes through again. So good job, and for all those that did that. On November the 5th, I had the opportunity to take part in the Warfighters Motorcycle Club Give Five Drive Ride, as you heard with Councilmember Crary. And I just want to thank them and for allowing me the opportunity to be with them. And all the funds raised went to the Veterans Hospital. And then on November the 9th, I had the opportunity to speak to the Sons of Italy, and I want to thank them for that opportunity. And as you heard from Councilmember Les, we did kick off our first banner for the Hometown Heroes to Lance Corporal Eugene C. Mills III. If you go to Cherry Lane, you'll see the banners that are there. We did some landscaping. Again, there were a lot of city forces from our communications to Park and Recs, Public Works, our police department, all of those that pulled it off to make it a really great day. And, you know, we were expecting about 60 to 70 people. And, you know, my count, there's had to be over 150 people there. So I know the Mills family in particular are very pleased with all those that came out. It's just a wonderful opportunity. If you want to find out about the program, you can go to our website under the mayor's section, and you'll see the requirements. Tonight, we did have the opportunity to attend. We've been meeting regarding the hospital, Laurel Hospital, our strategic work group. The executive committee again met this evening. We continue to meet. All the committees have been appointed and all the chairs have been appointed. Those that would like to participate on the committees, please let my office know. And we want people to come out and be part of those committees. So there's still spots available as well. Mr. President, I have a couple of citations to read. No. Hopefully I'll get through this. Let me see. Excuse me. Proclamation 2016-20, whereas the City of Laurel wishes to celebrate local small business and the contributions they make to our local economy and the community. And whereas it is important for people to support small businesses and they value in their community. And whereas the City of Laurel supports our local businesses because they create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods. And whereas advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now, therefore, I, Craig A. Moe, the mayor of the City of Laurel, do hereby proclaim Saturday, November the 26th, 2016 as Small Business Saturday in the City of Laurel, and urge all Laurel residents to celebrate in the spirit of small business. It's signed by me as the mayor, Craig A. Moe. Jimmy Cross, I think. Jim, hold on.
Thank you very much, Mayor and City Council. It has been a pleasure working with the Mayor and City Council and the departments, the Economic Development Department, Planning and Zoning, and the Historic District Commission. They all come together to work to support our local businesses, and I can't say enough about it. This is an awesome city. And the way that people come together and work together is great. And the Laurel Board of Trade would love to thank all of you in the city and for your help and support of our local business community. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We always like to brag about Jimmy because he's an honorable. Jimmy was a former councilman here in the city of Laurel, and for those that always follow the tax rebate that we got, Jimmy was very responsible for that years ago, quite frankly, and want to acknowledge that. Thank you for continued service. I have another proclamation. It's 2016-21, and I know that Ms. Rao did this because she used a font of size 8, so that I'd have to use my glasses.
Didn't do it.
And whereas the city of Laurel, Maryland was incorporated in 1870, and whereas Maryland is home to 156 other municipalities, and whereas municipal government represents the most responsible form of government, with citizens being able to directly access their local elected officials, and whereas municipal government has continuously fostered a strong foundation for government services and cooperations at the county, state, and federal levels of government, and whereas the city of Laurel continuously works to enhance the quality of life for residents by maintaining natural and historical sites and structures, helping to make the city of Laurel, Maryland a great place to live, work, and explore. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Craig A. Moe, Mayor, City of Laurel, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2016 as Municipal Government Works Week month in the city of Laurel, and join the Maryland Municipal League in celebrating the success of municipal government all over the great state of Maryland. It's signed by me as the mayor. And Tim, you want to accept this? You and Lou? Oh, actually, Donna, come on down here too. You're a board member too. Donna is a member of the Maryland Municipal League Board of Directors, which sponsors this. Kim is past president of the clerks, and Luann is a member of the board and the president of the Clerks Association. So I know protocol, so I don't get in trouble. Donna, please first you approve the budget.
Thank you so much. I think it's important that we acknowledge this month and the works that are done by municipalities. And we on the board encourage everyone to visit another city in the state of Maryland and see how they're run. And we selfishly want you to do that because we want you to see how well Laurel is run.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to encourage all of our residents to go to our newly unveiled website to see all the wonderful things going on in the city. Thank you.
You want to boast about the Clerks Association? Okay, let's get a group shot here. Send to Maryland Municipal League. Can you get us off?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Reverend. As the mayor makes his way back up here, I too want to thank Ms. Kathy Peterson from Montgomery Street for again getting a group of residents together on Saturday afternoon to go out and collect what I call street garbage, gutter garbage that the sweepers don't necessarily gather. And we had a group of about 25 citizens that walked through the neighborhood and collected garbage. And it's great to have the community come together like that and to take on a project like that and to then meet afterwards and meet and greet. So I want to thank her for leading the charge on that particular project in the Montgomery Street, Old Town Laurel area. With that, I'll now move on to the general public hearing at 7:24. Is there anyone wishing to speak on any topic whatsoever? Any topic whatsoever? Seeing none, I'll close it at 7:24 and a half. I'm sorry? Yes, sir. Chris, you want to say something?
Chris Ordinance 1105.
Come on up and identify yourself for the record, please.
Gotta turn the mic on too, Chris, because I turned it on. You gotta turn the mic on, 'cause I turned it on. Chris Erdl, 1105 Montgomery Street, here in Laurel. Just wondering if been any headway or any kind of news concerning the traffic improvements on the street there at the top of the hill where the Phelps Mansion is. Slow folks down to prevent numerous accidents.
I have just received a report from the mayor's office and from Public Works on part of that thing that we talked about and ways to maybe make a solution to some of it. I haven't finished reading all of the report. I just received it today, and I'd be more than happy to finalize that and then meet with you and talk to you about that.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, you have anything you want to add?
No, we've gotten the information. I don't think the accident ratio is as bad as it may be perceived, but we'll put it all together for you.
I've witnessed 6 accidents
Make sure they're reporting them.
in the between August and September.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you for your time.
Chris, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 9 on the agenda. This is the third public hearing with possible action on ordinance number 1869, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of Laurel, Maryland, amending the city code, chapter 9, miscellaneous provisions and offenses, section 9-20, grocery cart storage. I've read this into the record for the third reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:26. Is there anyone wishing to speak on the topic? Anyone wishing to speak on the topic? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:28 and a half. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I recommend the passage of the ordinance number 1869.
Okay, is there anyone second it?
Second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas? Yes. Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Ricks?
Yes.
Mayor Mel?
Concur.
Item number 10 on the agenda, introduction and first public hearing on ordinance number 1887, an ordinance to amend the operating budget of the mayor and city council of Laurel, Maryland for the fiscal year of July 1st of 2016 through June the 30th of 2017. I've read the title into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:27. Ms. Saylor.
Mr. President, as we discussed at the November work session, Ordinance 1887 is basically a companion ordinance of Ordinance 1883, providing $250,000 from the unassigned fund balance to provide tax credits and other financial incentives for economic development activities in the city.
Thank you. Like I said, I've opened the public hearing already. We've had this at our work session, and we'll have the final reading into the record on November the 28th. Are there any other preliminary questions from the council? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Saylor. Item number 11, introduction and first public hearing on ordinance number 1888, an ordinance to amend certain project budgets for an FY 2017 through FY 2022, the Capital Improvement Program. I read the title into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:28. Ms. Saylor.
Again, Mr. President, we discussed this at the November work session. This adds the project of Memorial Gardens to the CIP, providing an initial funding of $49,623, as well as amending the fleet equipment acquisition project, recognizing the $400,000 transfer from the FY 2016 general operating budget.
As we said, this is the first public hearing on this and first reading. Is there any other questions from the council? We had it on the work session. Seeing none, we'll have this on our agenda for possible action on November 28th at 7 p.m. here in council chambers. Item number 12, introduction, first public hearing on ordinance number 1889, an ordinance to amend section 17-136 of the Laurel City Code to designate a speed limit for Brooklyn Bridge Road and Old Sandy Spring Road. I read this into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:30, and I'll ask if anyone has any other questions. We had it at a work session. Any other questions for Mr. Free about this item? Seeing none, we'll have this on our meeting schedule for November the 28th for possible action. Item number 13, introduction and first public hearing on ordinance number 1890, an ordinance to amend the operating budget of the city of Laurel, no, excuse me, let me correct that. Introduction and first public hearing on ordinance number 1890, an ordinance to amend the operation of the City of Laurel Employees Retirement Plan effective on or after July 1st, 2016 by changing the mortality table used for funding processes. I've read this into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:31. And is there any other questions the council has at this time on the first public reading? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:31 and a half. This is on our agenda again for possible action on November the 28th at 7 p.m. Item number 14, introduction and first public hearing on ordinance number 1891, an ordinance to amend the operation of the City of Laurel Police Retirement Plan on and after July the 1st, 2016 by changing the mortality table used for funding processes. I read this into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:31. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this topic? Seeing none, is there anything from the council they wish to know? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:31 and a half. This will be on our agenda for possible action on November the 28th as well. Item number 15, introduction with first public hearing on ordinance number 1892, an ordinance to modify the operation of the City of Laurel Employees Retirement Plan effective on or after July 1st, 2016 to increase the smoothing period. I've read this into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:32. Is there anyone wishing to speak on the topic? Seeing none, anything from council? Seeing none, I'll close the general public hearing at 7:32. This will be on our agenda as well for the 28th for possible action. Item number 16, introduction, first public hearing on ordinance number 1893, an ordinance to modify the operation of the City of Laurel Police Retirement Plan effective on or after July 1st, 2016 to increase the smoothing period. I read this into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:33. Is there anyone wishing to speak on the topic? Anything from council? Seeing none, I'll declare the public hearing to be held, and we'll have this on our agenda as well on November the 28th. Item number 17, introduction with first public hearing on ordinance number 1894, an ordinance amending the City of Laurel Code, Chapter 17, Traffic, Article 3, Stopping, Standing, Parking, Division 2, Metered Parking, to extend the application of the metered parking provisions to public parking lots. I read this into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:33. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Anything from the council? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:34. This will be on our agenda as well for November the 28th at 7 p.m. Excuse me a second. At this time, again, it's my pleasure to say that I enjoyed working as the president. And it's time to say goodbye to this part. And so with that, Ms. Rao, if you would.
The floor is open for the nominations for office of council president.
Madam Clerk,
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Michael Les.
There's been a nomination of Councilmember Mike Les.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second?
The floor is now closed. We have the nomination of Councilmember Michael Les as council president. I'm going to call the roll. Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Mr. Les?
Yes.
Smooth transition of government.
Kim, do you have the, Kim? Kim?
I'm sorry.
Let me just take a few minutes. Want to thank Eddie for all of his service to the council over the last 2 years. And so the council has a small gift for you, Eddie. It's not a plaque. I know you don't like plaques.
I do not like plaques.
Watch opened up so you can show me.
Thank you very, very much. It's something I will always use. I like things that you can use to remember things by. And so certainly, it's not a plaque. It's something you actually can use. And so I thank you all.
Very nice.
Just a few words. I want to thank the council. As I said, thank you, Eddie, for the job you've done for the last 2 years. Eddie mentioned transition. I've watched what's been going on up at the Trump Towers. So this transition is going to be very simple. All council members will continue in the current assignments they're in. That committees, commissions, the work that's underway. And the last thing I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to appoint Valerie Nicholas as my president pro tem. And is there anything else to come before the mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. If I could, let me first congratulate you and look forward to working with you in the upcoming year. And to your pro tem, we congratulate Valerie as well. Let me also take the opportunity to thank Councilman Ricks. I was trying to give him one more meeting. I kept thinking it was next month. I kept going, what are you doing this for tonight? It's next meeting. I was wrong. He was right. I admitted it. So, but again, I think I appreciate what Eddie has done the past 2 years working with the administration as well as Donna, and as you heard him tick off a lot of different things that we've been doing. I appreciate your support with the administration as we work through some things, and I've enjoyed the time working together. And just again, congratulations. Thank you very much, and to Donna as well. And Mike, look forward to working with you and Valerie as we move forward. So thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Anything else come before the council?